All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how Eve is jealous that Jake can still get them kittens, man. Right? They're mad that the Israelite man is able to get attractive younger women of his own nation and the other nations as well. Right? And you've got this whole Shannon Sharp situation that's going on, right? And like the thing that I've noticed that's mad is I'm not even saying in this video whether I think he did the thing or not, right? But these women these Israelite women, these so-called black women that are complaining about what he did, I mean, talking about this whole situation, none of them are actually saying that they think that he did what the woman is accusing him of doing. Yet they're still trying to say, oh, you deserve it, you deserve this to happen and this and that, yeah. But they're not saying that if this woman on the screen right now, Kendra G, she's saying, I don't think he actually did it. I think it was consensual. And then they're trying to make out like, oh, the reason why this happened is because the woman's a young, they're trying to call it a 19-year-old a young girl now. When you know damn well, you ain't ever, I've never seen no person, when I used to be 19, yeah, the women that were 19 years old at the same time as me, they weren't being called no young girls, and neither did they be calling themselves no young girls neither. They were going on like they were super grown out here. And when they would find men that are the same age as them, they'd ask people their age, and when that person would say, I'm 19, they'd say, oh, you're young. I've had women say that to me before in this world, that I'm too young, and I'm thinking, hang on, but I'm the same age as you though. So if I'm young, what are you? Women say that, oh, you're too young. But then at the same time, now they want to try and make out like now, after they had decades onto their life, or when I made all these mistakes and I was fighting up the scene, when I was my hottest self, oh, that I was young and stupid them times. But now I know my worth, yeah, and I know your worth too, and every other man knows your worth a lot less than it was before. Because none of you women in this world are gonna, if a man says to you, okay, you're young and attractive right now, yeah, don't be running around trying to get none of that high value man stuff. Don't try and, you could get a millionaire guy that's got a house in this city and a house in that city, and he's also got a holiday home in Dominican Republic. You could get with him, and he's got his own private jet. You could get with that guy, but don't do that. Get with this guy here that don't do nothing. Get with him. Are you women gonna accept that and go for that? No, you're not. No, you're not gonna do that. But you're trying to call a 19-year-old woman a girl now, rather than just accept that they're past the age of puberty and past the age of what's considered a little child in this world. And that's an adult lying on somebody that, according to what you're saying, your own self, lying on somebody and making it like they did something to them when they didn't. The woman was getting, according to what this woman's saying from her mouth, that she basically believes that the woman was getting her cheeks clapped, and then was like, nah, actually, I want some money. I want 50 million. Like, it's ridiculous. But then women will say, oh, I want some money if these things happen to them in this world. But then the moment you bring out that a man's supposed to, according to the Bible, if he does that to a woman, pay the father compensation. Oh, that's wicked. The woman's not property. A woman's not property. Well, okay then. If a woman's not property and you can't buy a woman, then how comes women are always watching men's pocket all the time? How comes no matter how much money a woman makes, she's always worried about how much money a man makes? She can be a millionaire, she watching man's pockets. She can be a billionaire, she watching man's pockets. She got her own 9 to 5, she's watching man's pockets out here. But then they try and gaslight and make it like, oh, I don't care about money. Yeah, right. You're always worrying about men's money. But rather than admit that that's what you women are like, you lie and try and make it like you're not. This woman, Kendra G, is jealous. And she tried to say, oh, let me see if I can show it, man. She tried to show some Israelite women and that. But women, she's saying, oh, 19 years old is young. But Shannon shot 56, and she was showing him 33-year-old women to try and date. She's saying, oh, you could have came on my app, 37-year-old women. And I've got bad news for all you women out there, man. Men don't think that a woman that's 37 years old is young. You understand that? Men don't think that a woman that's 33 years old is young. And when this woman right now, Kendra G, has clearly got makeup on, is she wearing that makeup to look older? Or is she where, if she could, would she put makeup on her face to make herself look like what she used to look like when she was 19? What would she do? Would she put makeup on herself to make herself look like when she was 19, yeah? Would she have done her makeup to look like what she looks like today now in this video? Or would she have did her makeup to stay looking like what she looked like when she's 19? When she's at this age, if she could make herself look like what she used to look like before? Why she got this weave in her hair? And it's mad how all these women are always talking about the Edomite woman all the time, yeah. Which to hell with the Edomite woman, man. She's gonna get over there 1 and 18 like the rest of the Edomites, right? This ain't no we love Esau so much, like worshipping the Edomite woman thing around here, right? But the Israelite woman worships the Edomite woman more than men care about the Edomite woman, and men are supposed to care about what's going on with women because they deal with them. But you'll never see none of these women say the same kind of stuff running up their mouth. When a woman does these things that a man does, if Oprah Winfrey was out here dealing with this new guy that all these women are talking about, Aaron Pierre and that, right? None of these women would be saying anything about, you go, girl, get your, she got her groove back, girl. They'd be saying, running their mouth, saying all that. They'd be down for that. They'd be down for that. They wouldn't have no grievance. But in the moment that Israelite man sleeps with the women that he wants to sleep with, which he's in his right to do, right? He never broke no laws, and you can say all that. The moment you have to say it's legal, that means you're dodgy. Listen, man, if someone tries to accuse you of doing something and it's legal, leave them alone. You understand? Because most of y'all people's grandparents, your grandmothers had children when they was like 14. Don't try it, man. Most of y'all grandparents, your grandmom, yeah, she had a child when she was way less than 16 years old, most of y'all. And the child was the seed that made that child come to pass was your granddad. So was your granddad a cradle snatcher? Is that what you're trying to say? You damn demons out there, man. Men are always gonna want to deal with women that are attractive and hot. If they have the opportunity to. They ain't gonna want to deal with none of you old crows out there, man. They ain't gonna want to. And I'm not even saying that these women that he tried to show him and say, oh, I'm talk about, oh, you could have dated some of these women on my app. Let me show it. That woman looks real good. There ain't nothing wrong with what this woman looks like at all, right? But she's still young though. She's still younger than him though by almost 20 years. So what's up then? Is it that you don't want him to date women that are younger, or you know what I mean? Because if this woman would have been 18 years old, right, Shannon Sharp would have still been 20 years older than her. So he would have been like 40 when she was 19. But would you have said the cradle snatching thing then? But that's the thing with the Israelite woman, man. She's out of all the women on the earth, right? The so-called black woman, as far as I'm starting to learn, is the most silly woman on the earth. They're so silly. Like, they're silly. They're stupid. They're quite dumb, man. Not all of them. I'm sure one of them or one or two of them are all right, man. But the majority of them are simple-minded, man. They've been in the power seat of our nation for way too long and had their voice been able to influence the direction of our nation for way too long, that they actually think that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. And they want to use the fact that our nation's not doing good and make it be a thing to blame us. But they've been the main influence over our nation for a long time, man. For at least half a century, let's say. They've been running their mouths and guiding what our nation's supposed to be doing. And this isn't nothing about me trying to make it like this woman's a demon on the screen, nothing like that. This woman here, that's 37 years old and all that. But what's to say that if you've ever watched any of these Kendra G things and seen any of these women that come on this show, like these women are absolutely ridiculous with what they think, and a lot of them ain't 19. So trying to make it like just because a woman's 19 years old that she's going to be trying to do this and trying to do that. most women that come on Kendra G's show will be not looking nowhere near as good as that Edomite woman looked, right? They don't, and you women can get mad all you want. The Edomite woman that Shannon Sharp guy was dealing with, she looked good, right? This woman on the screen right now, she looks good too. But a lot of the women that come on this Kendra G show, they don't look good. They look like me. You understand? And maybe some people in the world might think I'm ugly or whatever. Maybe some might not. But a woman ain't supposed to look like what I look like. I know that. But some of these women look like Antonio Tarver with a wig on out here. Some of these women looking like Marvis Frazier on coming on this Kendra G thing talking about I need a high value man. I need a man with 6 feet, mate. You think so? You think so? You need a man with 6 feet, yeah? And he needs to make this amount of money and that amount of money. Okay. Well, I need a $50 million mansion as well, mate. We all need things in life, but you ain't good, like, you know what I mean? And nobody don't be bunning out these women when they be blabbing off their mouth about what they want. But Shannon Sharp was doing all the things that he did. Mate, he don't want none of you old crows, man. He don't have to. He can deal with whatever woman he wants to deal with. And you see how this is going to show that Kendra G is a demon. You know, I just saw that. Watch this. 1 second. 1 second. This is Kendra G's app, right? This is Kendra G's app. It says under the genders, man, woman, trans man, trans woman, non-binary. So you're a demon. So she's trying to make her like she's some righteous woman. Why have you got a dating app that's got T men and T women on there and non-binary? Shouldn't it only be men and women? When a man comes on the app, he's supposed to tap the thing that says women. So show me women. When a woman comes onto the app, she's supposed to tap the part that says men. But this Kendra G is trying to go on like, see, I got 10,000 women that you could have picked from on my app, Shannon. Fuck your app. You damn demon. Who gives a shit about that app, man? The app's got men on there pretending to be women. The app's got women on there pretending to be men. So Shannon Sharp should have dealt with the app that's got that up on there, yeah? Yeah, okay. Yeah, oh yeah, of course, sure. That's a better option, then, isn't it? Yeah, right, man. Like Shannon Sharp needs an app. Are you kidding me? The geezer had 50 million to even be sued for, and you think he's gonna just date some regular mate? Nah, he's not. He's gonna obviously keep dating women that he thinks are hot, and why shouldn't he? And the only reason why a lot of you women, like a lot of these women that are complaining about this whole thing, right? They don't even believe that he did it. That's how you know that the Israelite woman's a demon. They're not making points talking about the Edomite woman that they think lied. They're actually understanding why she would lie. And being like, oh, of course she was in it for the money. Okay, well, if she was in it for the money, she should have shut her mouth and did the things that he told her to do. And if she ain't down with that, go find the next man that's got some money. She's hot enough to. She's around that kind of world. She's down to do all these things that she's talking about, dog chains and all this madness with him. And all that, talking about 25K each cheek and all this. So I'm sure there'll be another guy that's got money that she can go and do that with them. And these Israelite women, these so-called black women that are talking about this thing, they're not even saying, yeah, he did that to that woman. They're trying to call her a girl. You know what I mean? But when they were 19, was they a girl then? Was they a girl when they was trying to get into the club at 19? Was they? No, they weren't. When they was trying to use fake IDs and when they was younger ages, trying to change up themselves with makeup to try and look older. And that's the hypocrisy of women in general, man. When women are in their teenage years and that, right? From 15 up to 19 and that, they be trying to look all up in men's face, man. Trying to test the waters on where their attractiveness ranks. And you start to see the changeover of how they start acting. So let's not play games, man. Most of you women, when you was 15 and all these teens that y'all want to talk about from 13 to 19 and that, if y'all could have went to the concert of your favorite male musician and went backstage and got dealt with back there, you would have did it. Don't try and play games. And that artist, that musician, would have been in his 20s and his 30s. Either way, he would have been older than you. So don't try and play games, man. Don't try and even dare play. Most women are more freaky than Jake. Women are way more on some more freaky business than men a lot of the time, man. That's why they be lusting after serial killers and all these things. You gotta be a real sicko to be doing that. A lot of women have a grape fantasy. You can say that they don't. They do. You understand? Men, we think about things to do with women. A woman's our glory. We think about things to do with women. And when we think about things to do with women, we've came across that that's a fact about women. That's one of their fantasies. I remember when I used to work in a supermarket, right? I used to work in Sainsbury before when I was a teenager in that year, and I used to work around books, right? I used to work with the books, and I remember there was a time way back when that 50 Shades of Grey book first came around, right? And I'll be putting it on the shelves. I didn't know what was in the book at the time. I just used to put it on the shelf, and then I kept getting calls about, oh, can you go and restock the books? And I was like, wow, what book is it that you want to restock? Oh, it's this 50 Shades of Grey thing, and I'll restock it, and then I'd put it, I'd put them back out again, and then I'd get another call. Oh, can you restart that 50? And I'd be like, rah, this book. Why is this book? Why is it that these books keep getting sold so much? And then the woman that I used to work around on the behind the counter, and that one Elam woman, and that was like, oh, can you pass me one of them books? I'm gonna read it while I'm on my shift, like secret. I want to read some of it. And then she was all giggling about it, talking with me and that, saying, oh, do you know what's in here? Do you know what's in this book? I was like, now, what's in there? And then she started opening the page and showing what was in there. And she was loving to want to talk about that. All these moms and that was coming up, asking me, oh, have you got any more of that 50 Shades of Grey left, Bab? And all this. Because they wanted to know about all that stuff going on in that book, man. Yet women be trying to go on like they're so delicate and innocent. No, y'all ain't, man. Y'all are freaky as hell. Don't try and play. Even with this whole Mr. Hellcat business that's gone on recently, why was he able to find so many women to do that stuff with? Because women are wicked. You understand? Why was he able to find so many women to do that stuff? Why was he able to find women that was prepared to do that to him? Instead of have him do them like that? Why was they wanting to do that to him? Talking about dominate and all this, conquer and all that. What are you on about? Why did you even want to do that to him? Because women are wicked. All these women that try and think they're exposing all these athletes, talking about how I ate his grass without the GR. Well, why are you boasting about that and trying to make it like the man's weird for wanting that to be done, which he is, by the way. He definitely is weird. If you want a woman to do that to you, you're weird. But the woman's weird for doing it though, too. The woman's weird for doing it. But women in this world, they don't have that thing where they think, you know what? This is a vice versa thing out here. They think, oh, I'm going to expose the man that he's into this. You're exposing yourself too, that you are prepared to do that. Let's not try and make her like these women are just so innocent out here, man. Like they don't be getting batteried out in a Weatherspoons toilets out here. Like they don't be down to do it off, give it at free up the thing in an alleyway out here, man. Let's not pretend like they ain't prepared to do that. Let's not pretend. And this woman herself, man, has probably did a lot of madness in her life too. And she's still youth chasing out here. But then trying to be like, oh, the reason why that person did that is because it's some girl. Listen, man, the reason why that stuff happened, according to what most of these Israelite women are saying themselves, is because the woman's a liar. If a woman's prepared to lie and say that somebody did something to her, it don't matter what age she is. It won't matter what age. Because there'll be women that have said these kind of things that men have did this or did that to them that are in their 30s as well. And that are at your age, whatever age she is. Because women naturally do this. They lie. Right? Women lie. Let me, 1 second. Women they naturally lie, man. Like one of the things that they're good at doing in this world is just lying. Right? They love to lie. So the moment that the relationship's not going well for them, right, and then they want to bounce from one guy to a next guy, they're talking about, oh, he was a narcissist. My ex was a narcissist. He was a this and that. According to what, if you was to believe what women say, every man's a narcissist in this world. We're literally all a narcissist. But if you look at what a narcissist is, who's more of a narcissist than a woman? They literally I was looking up some videos of these makeup transformations the other day. I was like, raw, makeup really is some abracadabra thing out here, bro. Some next level some next level left hand energy, bro. How women are able to really change their faces so drastically. But that's part of being a narcissist, that you want to lie that much and change up your face that much, and then have the nerve to want a man to be real about everything that he is, though. He's got to be really telling the truth about how much money he makes. He's got to really be telling the truth about how he's going to take care of you and be paying all of your bills. But you're not really even telling the truth about what your face looks like. Y'all ain't prepared to tell the truth about your body count. Y'all ain't prepared to tell the truth about why your last relationship broke up. Your last relationship broke up because this guy that you're with now, you saw him and you was like, oh shit, he's got a bit more than the man that I'm with now. I'm going to start staging some arguments with the guy that I'm with now to try and move on to this guy, but I'm not going to do it yet until I'm sure, I'm certain that this is going to move on with this new geezer. But I'm not going to tell him that I'm talking to another guy while I'm with this guy. I'm just going to make him think that the last relationship that I had was ages ago. And I'm going to make sure that I say that that guy did something wrong to me for the relationship to break up, because I can't tell the truth that I'm really the one that broke it up. Because then he's going to think that there's something wrong with me, even though there is. But I can't let him know that, because I'm trying to get him, treat him like a sucker and make him pay for all my whole bills, even though I'm going to keep telling him about all the accolades that I've got and I don't need no man. But I'm still going to want him to use all of his money to take care of what I've got going on, so that I can use my own money to just beautify myself. I can get my nails done every single day now if he pays all my bills, rather than just getting them done weekly or fortnightly. I can start going to a hair salon and get my hair. I can buy a better weave now if he starts paying all my bills. I can get a more expensive car on finance if he starts paying my bills. I can start saving up more. I can start going out with the girls more. I can start cooking less when I'm not around him and start going to cafe brunches if he starts paying for everything. So, that's how you women think. And that's why all you women will actually understand why a woman would lie about saying that a man raped her and say, I don't want him to go jail. I want 50 million. Okay, ma'am. He said you did this there. Okay, so what punishment do you want? I want 50 million, huh? So you don't want him to go to prison so that he can't do this to no other woman? Nah, I want 50 million. Interesting. Okay. All right. Galatians chapter 3 and verse 6. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Right? So because they're proud. Because they're proud as hell. And you know what? I might play a bit of what that woman was saying in that video, 1 second.
Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp announced that he is temporarily walking away from ESPN due to the $50 million lawsuit he is going through with a 19-year-old OnlyFans girl who was accused.
You see what I mean? Since when did a 19-year-old become a girl, man? Like, are any of these women ever going to explain when a woman becomes an adult? Because I ain't never heard them calling 19-year-old men boys. You know what I mean? They don't say none of that. They don't say none of that, man. But it's always a 19-year-old girl. What are you on about, man? Over here in the United Kingdom, well, you can drink alcohol from when you're 18 legally, according to this society. So what are you on about? And this isn't meant to be considered some third world country that ain't so-called civilized. So over here, but in America, you can get weapons before you can get the ability to drink. But then, when did Kendra G, if she was to get asked, when did she lose her V card? I bet it was before 19. I'm almost certain it would have been before 19. And I've heard about Israelite women that have said when that they lost their thing when it was 12. So what's up? What's up with it, man? But the way how this world tries to go on is like, oh, women can just be girls at 1 minute and then they're grown the next. Nah, it don't work that way, man. It don't work that way. And the thing is, women don't want to have accountability for nothing, but then they don't want to be controlled as well. They want to be able to have everlasting freedom with zero responsibility for anything that goes wrong from time to time. They want to complain about how the society runs and how things work in it, but they don't want to do no manual labor things. They don't want to do none of those things, man. They've got all the freedom right now in this world to do any career that they want to do, and they're not choosing to do the same hard jobs that men have to do. Right now in Birmingham in the UK, right, there's a whole thing going on with the bins, right? And women will be some of the main ones that will be complaining about that, guaranteed. But are they gonna say, you know what, train us ladies up, and we'll take the lower shifts, the lower wages on the bins thing, and we'll start doing the bins, and since the men don't want to do them? Are they gonna ever say that? No, they're not. No, they wouldn't say that, man. No, they wouldn't say that ever in their life. They won't be saying that. They would never say that.
Accusing him of sexual assault. Now, he has already on record said that it was consensual sex. And here's the deal. I want to say this. I believe it was consensual sex. But that's not the point.
You see? So Eve can believe that the man's innocent and still run her mouth about you because she's just jealous that you're able to get all these kittens, man. If Eve was able to get access to the other nations' men, the same way how the Israelite man is able to get access when he reaches a certain level to the other nations' women, they wouldn't have nothing to say. They wouldn't have nothing to say about any of it, man. If they was able to all date young-looking Brad Pitt-looking Edomites and Leonardo DiCaprio-looking Edomites and the Leonardo DiCaprio-looking Edomites and that, which I don't believe that neither of them two men I mentioned are Edomites anyway, especially not Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's a Jake, but I think he's an Israelite. But right, the women don't know nothing about that, really. And if them Israelite, them heathen-looking men was down to be with Eve, right, and to like her more than they like all the other nations of women. And when the other nations of women try and throw themselves at them men, they'd be like, nah, I like my sugar brown. They'd be loving it, mate. They'd be loving it. They wouldn't be able to get enough of that. Right? And when you see an Edomite woman an Israelite woman walking on the street with an Edomite man, she tries to change up how she's doing things. She tries to change. She wants to hug him now or something like that. She wants to try and look at him in some kind of way. I'm with you, baby. Don't worry about that black savage. I love you, baby. That's the kind of mentality that she has. But then they're quick to run their mouth about what we got going on. When the only reason why they even care about who Shannon Sharp's dealing with anyway is because he's rich. Even though Shannon Sharp would not be considered, in my opinion, by most Israelite women ugly, right? They're only really grieved by all of this because he's rich, and they're thinking, well, if a black man's gonna have some money, I deserve it. I should be getting first pick of that money, girl. That's how they think with their wicked up self. That's how they think, man. And that's why there was not long ago, man, there was this whole thing where they was talking about how in Japan, we want the women, we want black men to come over to Japan, so-called black men, to have children with the Japanese women. And you had this woman Tasha K or something like that, right? And she was saying, "What are you gonna give us if we do allow that?" And I'm thinking, huh? What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? The Japanese men are asking for you to come over. They ain't asking for black women to come over. So why are you talk? What you mean us? What you mean us, man? They're asking for the men to come over, not you. Because any chance normally that the so-called black woman gets to separate herself from the black man, she quickly runs and takes that shit. But then the moment that there's something that's exclusive for an Israelite man, all of a sudden now she wants dibs on it, man. Nah, you don't. We're the nation, man. And I don't care what none of you women have got to say. We're the nation, really. The nation starts with us. Because if we was to all be exterminated, then the nation's done. And you have to perform a miracle now to make us still be around. Don't believe me? There was a time where all the women from the tribe of Benjamin were destroyed. Does the tribe of Benjamin still exist? Yes, it does, because the men didn't all die out. The men didn't all die out. So therefore, the nation didn't all die out. That's just the facts, man. Let's hear what else she's got to say, man. Let me hear a bit more of this.
It's not a good look to be in a sexual assault lawsuit with a 19-year-old white girl when you a big black man.
See what I mean? But then if you was to say to this woman that Esau's the devil, right? She'd be like, oh, nah, I believe God loves everyone, girl. She wouldn't kneel down to say that. But they want to talk about color now. She wants to talk about color now. You want to talk about a bit white girl and all that. Mate, your hair's not that long and you know it ain't. Your hair, Kendra G, is not that long, is it? Let's be real, man. Let's just be real. And you can, like, if I'm sure if Kendra G was to see me in real life, she'd think she's better than me and all that. I'm certain. She'd think I'm ugly or whatever. I'm almost certain of that. You know what I mean? But you don't really look like that, mate. You don't. Your eyebrows don't really look like that. Your skin tone don't really look like that. Your eyelashes don't really look like that. Your eyes don't really look like that. Your lips don't really look like that. And the main one that cuts you out to the soul for most of you so-called black women out here, your hair don't really look like that. And you're trying to make your hair, whether you, as much as you want to say it, you try and make your hair look like the so-called white woman's hair. Most of you so-called black women, man, you do. Let's just be real. Y'all ain't trying to make the hair look like Brazilian or that, like y'all say. You ain't trying to do that. And even if you are, you're trying to make it look like the women that are the Brazilian women that look like so-called white women. That's what they're trying to do. But then when you get called out about it, because it's such a mental disease on y'all, right? It's a sickness in itself, fam. Right? Because of that, y'all are lie. And start, oh no, no, no. No, it's not. No, but imagine the so-called black man wearing Donald Trump wigs. Do you understand? Just imagine Shannon Sharp right now in that picture right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Just imagine Shannon Sharp right now, that Donald Trump wig on his head. That was yellow. And then when someone said, oh, you're trying to have hair like a white man, he was like, no, I'm not. There's some black people that have blonde hair. What are you going to say? I'm like, what are you on about? What are you talking about? Like, if a man goes out his way to try and get his legs lengthened, people will laugh at him. But women are going out of their way. The so-called black woman goes out of her way to make her hair get lengthened. And no one don't say nothing. She gets BBLs. The women don't really want to say nothing, man. And the BBLs, from what I'll be hearing about, stink too. And a BBL, mate, who cares about a BBL, bro? Really? Who really cares about none of that, man? And this world's so bugged out that you can have a woman in retail with a BBL, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, man. Let's see what else she's got to say, man. And I'm going to end this video.
Working for Walt Disney. Yes, ESPN is owned by Walt Disney. Nobody temporarily walks away from a multi-million-dollar job. But let me tell you why I'm irritated, because I tried to save Shannon Sharp.
Mate, he didn't want to date none of them wicked ass women, man. He don't trust you on what you think a good woman is. You wouldn't have picked him a woman much better than what he picked himself. To be honest with you, and based on this woman's own saying, she don't believe he actually did it. So the problem isn't that the woman's 19. The problem is that she's a liar. So you should be focusing on that when you're talking. That the woman's a liar. And you should be seeking for justice to be done. Because then what if he has to end up paying a 50 million when you think that he did it consensual? What are you going to say? Oh, that's because you got a 19. A woman should not be able to become worth 50 million because she slept with a man consensually and then got disgruntled and said, and then lies and say that she did something to him. That he did something to her, I mean. She shouldn't be able to become a millionaire based off that. But this world's so wicked that that can happen. And then you know that Esau this is me personally, you know. This is my own personal opinion. And if I was an Edomite, yeah, this is what I would do to you Jakes out there, man. I'd set up an agency, you know. And I'd call it a modeling agency, but it wouldn't really be that. It would be an agency to capture you rich Jake's money, man. And then women that are on my agency would really be some 304s that I'd send out to be dealing with all you rich Jakes to get some money, man. And I personally think that that's what Esau's did in this world. Now, that's a wicked thing to do. But if I was an Edomite, and I'd hate Israelites if I was an Edomite, right? I understand why they hate us. That's the kind of things that I would do. And I believe, this is my own personal opinion, I believe that within Hollywood, yeah, and within all these places that these rich mans are, that they set up things like that. Oh, and they find out where guys frequent. Oh, he always goes to this particular bar on a Friday. So, Jessica, I'm going to send you out there, yeah? And you're going to be at the bar and flirt with him a bit. You're his type. I know I want you to say exactly this. Ain't you gonna buy a girl a drink? And that's gonna just make him go, woo, woo. You know what I mean? You'd do that, man. If you was a wicked Edomite, you'd do that. Set up an agency and that. And the agency's real goal is to get cases on people. And I think that that's what goes on in this world, man. I believe that that's going on, man. Because they always seem to, whenever one rich Jake that likes women, that seems to always be one of the things that's able to cast him down. That he likes women that are attractive. He's always able to be brought down by that. Because I personally believe that they send these women at these guys, man. That they set them up using these kind of things. And some of those women be black, so-called black women too. So let's not make it like so-called black women don't lie on black men. Let's not even dare pretend like that don't happen. Let's not pretend like I don't watch these body cam arrest channels on YouTube and see these so-called black women going upside the so-called black man's head, like lying and saying that he beat them, right? And then the cops end up realizing no, he didn't, and they end up getting arrested. Let's not pretend that so-called black women ain't doing that. Let's not pretend like there's not plenty of so-called black women that are either dead or in jail right now. Excuse me, let me say that again. Let's not pretend that there's not so many so-called black men that are dead or in jail right now at the hands of what wicked ass women say, man. And that let's not pretend like women don't go around the world getting on men's nerves, getting in arguments with men. Yeah. And then when it goes bad for them, call up their uncle and their brother. Let me tell a story one time, yeah. Back when I used to be a student, yeah. I didn't see this take place, but I heard the story. And there was one Israelite woman, so-called black woman from Birmingham, right? I went to university. I was a student in London, yeah. And let's not, and did I end up hearing a story where a so-called black woman got into an argument in the university halls, yeah, and called her brother and her dad that lived in Birmingham to come and fight the students that lived in the halls in London. You understand? And did the brother and the uncle show up? Did the brother and the father show up to London to fight in the middle of the night to fight students? Yes, they did. You know you know how much of a lie the woman's got to tell her father and her brother to make them drive a 3 hours journey. You know that journey would talk about 3 hours. I looked it up at the time. It would have took at least 3 hours with moderate traffic for them to get from there to there. You understand? So what the hell did she lie and tell them? Now let's say that her father would have ended up and her brother would have ended up unaliving somebody or seriously hospitalizing somebody, they'd have to go jail. But let's say that the university students would have rushed them guys and somebody ends up pulling out something and the father or brother ends up getting unalived. Now what then? Now you've lost your brother and your father. But that woman lied. She was attacking people. They grabbed her and restrained her, and she lied and said that they beat her up. And then called up her brother and her father and said they beat me up out here, come down and deal with them. And they drove 3 hours, to try and fight with students. So that's 3 hours there. But then don't forget, you have to do a return journey. So that's 3 hours back. So let's not pretend like the Israelite woman is just so righteous out here, man. No, she's not. Yeah? No, she's not righteous. She's a demon. A lot of them, man. And the ones that ain't wicked like that should be saying to the other ones that are, telling them about themselves. They should be telling them about themselves, man. And you've got some channels out here, some of these channels where you got some of these women that they say certain things against the Israelite woman and that, right? But the majority are just bugged out. The majority are bugged out, man, and they try and make it like we would never do the black woman, the black man like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Y'all know that y'all be sleeping with your husband's friends and all that. Trying to set, oh, my ex was part of this gang, but I'm gonna start a thing with this geezer now, and I'm gonna start a battle between them, and you get it gets you off, you wicked ass. Y'all get enjoyment out of that kind of stuff, man. Y'all get enjoyment out of trying to make men enemies amongst each other, man. When y'all just walking around the street by yourself, you try and pretend like you're single, yeah, and then try and make men lust after you. And then when your man ends up with you walking on the street now, there's all these other men that are giving you extra attention and stuff, trying to act a certain way towards your man, and he's not even maybe knowing what's going on. It's because you've been acting like a hoe when you're not with him. That's why. That's the kind of things that human in this world do. Let's see what some more y'all got to say, man. Like this is the reason why you women have been made to have your hair taken away, because you're wicked, and no woman is fit to rule, because this woman said out of her own mouth, I don't believe that he did it. But then her thing is, but you shouldn't have been dealing with a woman that's 19 anyway, because she's too young. Not that the woman's a liar. It's that, oh, she's too young, so of course she's gonna lie. She's not supposed to lie. You're not supposed to lie, get this gruntled that he was getting the cheeks clapped and he didn't get paid what you think you're worth, and then try and get 50 million. When if he was worth 50 million, you'd be able to get 50 million from your own self without OnlyFans and all these things fighting. Wouldn't you?
I try to say. Now, if you recall, I ran into Shannon Sharp at the NAACP Awards. I stopped him. I said, Shannon, I got 10,000 girls I could hook you up with. If you don't remember, take a look. I already know it. I got what you looking for. I got like 10,000 girls.
Man, he weren't fucking with you like that, man. He didn't want to talk to you. He didn't want to talk to you, man. He weren't feeling you. You know what I mean?
He
What's
walked
up,
away.
Yeah.
7
I ain't surprised he walked away. But she said, I got females, yeah? I got 10,000 females that you can talk to. Well, let's look at what's on this app that she's talking about. What does that say? What does that say right there? This is her app, right? Remember, this is this Israelite woman, so-called black woman's app. What does that say right there? So the woman's a demon? Why you got a dating app with that on there for? Ain't you about men getting with women and women getting with men? So what's going on with this then? Wagwan, man. Yeah, what's up with that? So let's not even dare try and make her like the so-called black woman's righteous, man. And that she would just never do the so-called black man wrong. Let me get a scripture again. Let's not dare, like I said before, let's not dare pretend like the so-called black woman would never do nothing wrong, because the reason why she cannot grow hair is because of her attitude towards the Israelite man. So let's not try and pretend like the so-called black woman ain't did nothing wrong to the so-called black man. Let's not pretend like so-called black women have not made so-called black men end up in unknowingly commit adultery. He comes up, yo, babes, I'm feeling that. What you say? What you saying? Maybe I ain't the best Casanova and I ain't the smoothest of speech with women, but flow with me a second, man. Maybe he rolls up, yo, ma, what's up, ma? What you saying? You got a man? Nah, I ain't got no man. Nah. He was a narcissist, and then she know damn well she's still with him right now. And then the guy ends up finding out, and now he wants to unalive you. But she lied. But he ain't gonna believe that though. And even if he does believe it, he still might not care, because jealousy is the rage of man. Let's not pretend like so-called black women don't do that. All women do it. All of you do it, man. All of y'all do it, man. Most of the relationships that men are in now with their woman, she's in it with you because she broke up with the next geezer, because she thought you was a better option for her than the other guy. So let's not pretend, man. And I heard the other day, man. Well, no, today, one of the elders, he said a statement that stood out to me when he said, a lot of these first wives are not gonna make it, man. Right? A lot of these first wives, the women that got with men when he first like before he even knew he was an Israelite, and she knew him from before then, and that a lot of them ain't gonna make it, man. And that stuck with me, man. That sung out, man, because that makes perfect sense to me. That a lot of these so-called first wives ain't gonna make it, man. Know what I mean? And that's not a thing that men are wishing, because men, despite what women might say, men care about women more than women care about men. And that's why men don't sleep with a woman, yeah, and then, oh, she weren't feeling it no more. So, or she stops talking to him, and then he lies about her and says that she did something to him, and then he tries to make a financial claim on her. But women do that to men all the time. They do that to men all the time, man. Everyone's crying about Cassie, this whole Cassie and Diddy thing, which Diddy's a demon. But when Cassie first time saw P. Diddy, was she not in a relationship with another guy? Was she not? And did she not monkey branch from that guy to be with P. Diddy? Yes, she did. She was with another guy that's was a musician. I forget his name, right? But she bounced from him and went with Diddy. So let's not pretend like she was just some innocent kitten out here in this world that was just led astray and that she needed a shepherd. You know what I mean? Let's not pretend like that was what happening. She knew exactly what she was trying to do when she bounced from one guy to a next guy that had way more money. She knew exactly what she was doing when she bounced from one guy that had way more popularity and influence to another. But as soon as things started going bad in that, she bounced and got her check and dipped. But when do men ever complain really about how women did them and try and get a financial claim, man? Oh, she don't cook and clean no more. So I want I want 50 million. Oh, she used to give me the throat goat 5,000. Yeah, 2 times a week. But now she stopped. And now it's barely even once a year that I get that. I was tricked. I was deceived. I want 100 million. I'm suing. When do men ever do that? They don't, because men care about women for real more than the woman cares about them. And trying to make it like a man's a demon for wanting to sleep with his woman or with women in general is wicked as hell. Because don't you women want to sleep with men? When you women are talking about what ultimate man you want, isn't part of this ultimate man that you be desiring a lot of the time, don't y'all mention his genitalia size? What's the purpose of that? What is the purpose of why you want that to be what it is? Isn't it for sleeping with you? So let's cut the BS, man. Let's cut the bull. Let's cut that. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16, moreover Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Let me jump down to verse 17. Therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. And through their social media thing, he's exposing that a lot of you women are simple as hell, man. You're stupid. You cannot rule anything, man. You're not proper judges. You can't judge nothing. Because if this was to be, right, Kendra G, that woman that you just saw on the screen, judging over the case between Shannon Sharp and this woman that accused him of that thing, and she said of her own mouth, I think it was consensual, but let's say she was able to find out that if she was able to make a law that, okay, I get 10% of all the settlements anyway, well, she'd start thinking about the 5 million that she'd get from giving that woman 50 million, rather than thinking, well, I don't think he did it, let him go. And that woman tried to accuse him of doing this to her and say that he has to pay her 50 million, so she's bared false witness on him. So now she has to pay him 50 million. That's what's let me get the scriptures, man. That's what's supposed to happen if you think that someone bearing false witness. You ain't supposed to, oh, well, she lied because she was sad. You know, as girls do, we're emotional. We're emotional. So you just can't deal with us like that. We've got trauma. We've got trauma. He tried to play with me. He got me effed up. You got the Lord Yahweh Basham Shai effed up, man. Because you don't get to get disgruntled that a man clapped your cheeks and dips it on that and lie about it and say that he did something to you other than what he did. You don't get to do that and get away with it, man. A judgment's pending. And this woman of her own mouth said she don't believe that he did it, but that's not the point. He had no business with his big old black self dealing with a white woman. Who are you to say that? Who are you to say that, man? A lot of you Israelite women would have got the same treatment as what King David's wife got, man, when she was running her mouth talking about, or you dancing while one of the simple women, one of the simple men. And he would have been like, okay, you think I'm wicked? I'm going to be even more wicked than what you thought I was. All the women that you complained about, they're going to have my children, and you ain't going to have none. You're banished. King David wasn't playing around. Deuteronomy chapter 19 and verse 16, if a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, Kendra G said that she thinks that's what happened. She says she thinks it was consensual. So she believes that the woman is lying, yet she's still asking for 50 million. Verse 17, then both the men between whom the controversy is, right, which it doesn't just mean men, it means mankind in this regard, whom the controversy is, shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make, and you know what? That's what's also wicked about this world, because when you have the lawyers, in this society, you'll have one lawyer trying to prove innocence and another lawyer trying to prove guilt. But what you're supposed to have is everyone trying to figure out the truth of the matter. Not, oh, as long as he pays me to prove his innocence, I'm going to try and prove his innocence. No, you're meant to try and find out what the truth of the matter is. Not, oh, he's paying me to prove he's innocent, so I'm going to try and prove he's innocent. Even though I can't prove he's innocent, really. I can just try and hide some of the facts that prove his guilt. Verse 8 and verse 18, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as ye had thought to have done unto his brother. So if this woman knew that if I lie and say that this man did this to me, and it gets proven that I'm lying and I'm asking for 50 million, I'm going to have to give him 50 million. You think she'd do that? You think these women would be coming out with these crazy claims and saying that men did all these things to them? You think people have bravery to lie in general and try and spread rumors about men's lives? You think people would have that? Oh, you see that guy there? Like, you think people would be want to even tell bear? Oh, that guy, he's dating a white woman. Mate, why do you care? Do you want to date him? Oh, that man, he's got a snow bunny. Well, snow bunnies ain't the only bunnies, mate. You can get yourself a sand bunny too, a noodle bunny. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of bunnies and kittens out here that a man can deal with, man. In the kingdom, you think, well, mate, in the kingdom, we're going to be dealing with these women out here. Like, we're going to be. Now, if you want to try and go on like you're super righteous in the kingdom more than us as an Israelite man, oh, I can't believe he's dealing with an Ethiopian woman. Bruv, you don't have to in the kingdom. You don't have to. There'll be more than enough beautiful women from the 12 tribes of Israel. But you ain't gonna be able to tell another man he can't deal with a fine Edomite woman in the kingdom neither. Because after 1,000 years of captivity, there's not gonna be no such thing as a fine Edomite woman, because they're all gonna get Obadiah 1 and 18. And if you choose that, for the whole 1,000 years when Esau's in captivity, if you want to say, I'm never dealing with one of these Edomite savages, that's up to you. But if we see you in that 998th year, slip it through to one or two of them, and that we're gonna be like, see, I knew you was remember in the other world, we was trying to go on super righteous. See, look at you now, and you ain't sinned by doing this neither. So you owe me an apology. And you know what? All the brothers that were saying that, they'll say, Salakia, you was right and I was wrong. I'm sorry, brother. And we were like, yeah, that's all right, man. I forgive you. You know what I mean? There's going to be a whole bunch of Israelite children in the kingdom of heaven that are going to be able to say that their moms were Edomites. But that's not going to matter, because their father is an Israelite. So there's going to be some, like, let's get down to this. Let's really consider this for a second. If we thinking of heavenly things, right? That's what we say we thinking about, right? In the kingdom of heaven, right? There's going to be Israelites that have got Edomites for moms. You understand? There's going to be Israelites that have got heathens for moms. Their moms, because they are not Israelites, are going to be not immortal. So they're not going to be able to see their mom forever, because their mom's not going to exist anymore. Now, are they going to mourn and weep? I don't perceive that. Because they're going to have their father around. And all the wives of their father that would act towards them like mothers anyway. That's going to happen. If you believe that we're going to be immortal, only the Israelites, but the heathen are not. Some women that are heathens are going to have children that are Israelites born under the new covenant, but they're going to end up perishing because they're not going to be able to live forever because they're not an Israelite. So then that child's not going to be able to see their mom anymore because she's not going to exist, and he'll be fine. Just like how in this world you might not end up seeing your parent forever. Yeah, it's going to happen. Verse 19, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. So you're supposed to, if someone lies about something between somebody, right? Whatever judgment they thought that you deserve for what they're accusing you of, that's what's supposed to happen to them. Oh, he did this to me. He hurt me. I want 50 million. Okay. But you know that if we find out that you're lying, you owe him 50 million too, though, right? Well, on second thoughts, he didn't. It was consensual. Oh, interesting. Verse 20, and those which remain shall hear and fear. So they'll be like, raw, that girl trying to accuse him of this 50 million thing, you know? And I'm not even saying that, talking about the case, I'm saying about what Kendra G said, that she thinks it was consensual. I'm not even saying whether I think he did or didn't. I'm saying what she said. But then she still said that that's not the point. But that is the point, though. If you think a man's innocent, why are you still talking about what he this and what he that? Why are you still talking about it? As if a woman that's older can't try and say whatever, can't try and say, oh, I don't love him no more. And he was a narcissist. I want half in a divorce. So either way it goes, a woman's going to lie and say whatever they need to say to try and get access to the money. If this woman would have been married to him, she would have just said she wants a divorce. If she would have been dating him long enough to where she can get a residency in his house, she would have went that route and tried to get some spouse or this or whatever technique. Because Esau continually keeps making ways to give women access to men's wealth unworthily, so that he can get access to that man's wealth. It's not because of the woman. He don't give a shit about them. It's because he wants access to their wealth. And he's prepared to do anything to get it. Verse 20, and those that which shall remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more such evil among you. So the reason why you're supposed to do that judgment for false witnesses, so that people get scared, man. I'm not gonna lie about something then, because then I don't want to have to do that. If someone lies, he should be dragged around about something. There should be all these people on YouTube that want to accuse man of this and accuse man of that. He should be dragged through the streets, kicking and screaming. Oh, okay, you sure you want to say that? Yeah, I do want to say that. Okay, well then now your ass is going to be dragged through the streets, kicking and screaming, and since you wanted to lie and bear false witness, now you deserve that then. Simple as that. Now, if someone saw that take place, would they want to lie anymore? And with this case, he owes. I want 50 million. When the judgment would turn around that no, she owes 50 million. Oh, but she's young. She's only 19. How's she gonna pay that off? Oh, I don't give a shit. She wanted him to pay. She's gonna have to find a way to get that money together, man. Even if it means that she's gonna have to work for the rest of her life for free for that same man that she tried to accuse that of. She's gonna work it as much of it off for the rest of her life through hard labor, not through the spreading your legs way neither. Like a lot of you women want to try and get money from. A lot of you women in this world, if you could just get money from spreading your legs open, you'd be down for that. You'd be down for that, man. If you could just sleep with a rich man under your terms, not when he wants it, whenever you want it, whenever you want to give it, right? Then you'll be down for that. You would. But then at the same time, women want to try and think that they can use that thing as a weapon against men. But then they don't expect a man to want to have multiple wives? Because one of the reasons why they don't want him to have multiple wives is because then they can't use that as a weapon against him. Because if a man's got 100 women to pick from to sleep with, well, your thing that you're trying to give him to him ain't much different than the next woman's thing. Verse 21, and thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. They said if he did this wrong, they should take his arms and hands away. He didn't do it, he lied. Now your arms and hands are going to have to get taken away. They said if he did this, he owes this amount of money. And you thought because he was rich that he should have to give that money. But nah, you ain't rich and you're going to have to find that money from somewhere. You're going to have to work the rest of your life away now. Keep trying to pay off as much of that off as you can, because you should have watched your mouth and not lied, man, and not spread so much evil around you. And if the chance finally comes where you do pay it off, then you can be free from that debt. But if you don't end up paying it off, you're going to be paying it off for the rest of your life. So you sure you want to lie? You sure you want to bear false witness? Or do you want to reconsider and just accept he clapped the cheeks? Yeah. You got yours. He got his. He don't want to deal with you no more. You weren't as special as you thought you was. Oh, well. Or do you want to lie and go through? That's the way how it would have to go with a lot of these cases. And the reason why I'm saying it in this way is because that woman herself, she said that she don't believe that he even did it. And most of the women that I've been seeing, that I've been watching up things about this, most of the so-called black women in particular that are talking about it, they're not saying that they actually believe that Shannon Sharpe did that. They're not actually saying that they really think that he did that to that woman. And he already exposed the text messages that shows that that woman was on some freaky business with him. They already showed it. That she was talking about some 25K per cheek and all that. So what's up, man? And then here's the thing that we've got to say real low as well in this world anyway. A lot of these jakes that end up getting access to all these kind of monies, they are wicked. But then the women are wicked as well, man. And women are not good judges because a lot of these women are still down to believe that he should have to, like, that they understand the reason why this woman lied. Rather than saying that women shouldn't be lying about stuff like this because there's really women that go through these kind of things and then nobody believes them. They're making excuses. They're making an age excuse as to why this woman's lied. Rather than being like, hang on, she shouldn't fucking lie about shit like this because that makes the women that actually do have this stuff done to them not be believed by men or not be believed in society. I'm offended by saying that. They're saying, oh, what do you expect? You ain't got no business with your big black self dealing with it. Well, who are you to say that? You ain't no judge then. Because would you have been saying the same thing if it was an ugly so-called black woman that said it? Or would you be saying the same thing if it was a attractive so-called black woman that said it? If it was an attractive so-called black woman that was saying it, what would you all of a sudden believe that it happened now? Oh, these black men, they don't protect the black woman. What would you be saying? You change your story then as well? The Israelite woman is not a judge, man. She can't judge things. She's not a judge, man. We're going to be the judges, the Israelite men. And this case, this whole story is showing that, man. It's showing that the Israelite woman don't really care about righteous judgment. And she always tries to bring back everything to her grievances that she has with the so-called black man. All the time. Rather than considering righteous judgment. In the kingdom of heaven, we ain't going to be allowing heathen men to go through these kind of things. We're going to judge that situation. I'm not going to allow, if Yahweh gives me the power, a heathen man to have to deal with his wife committing adultery and the men tell him, you just got to get over on it. Get over it. She ain't feeling you no more. No. They're going to go to the stone place. They're going to go to the adultery zone where there's a big everlasting tower of rocks that weigh 1 kilogram each. So you know them big stones, right? And they're gonna go there, man. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So that no such evil is done among them. And so that for that time when they see that take place, they're gonna be like, man, that was horrible. And I was thinking about sleeping with my mate's wife the other day, but after I saw that, I'm gonna rebuke that spirit. I'm gonna rebuke that demon. That was Satan. That's Satan. You're gonna have the heathen. You're gonna have the heathen in the kingdom saying, "Man, that's Satan. Stay away from me, Satan, you damn devil. I rebuke thee, Satan." They're gonna be saying that because I'm like, man, nah. I ain't trying to. I ain't trying to do no. I ain't trying to do no adultery because I ain't trying to get that. Did you see the size of the stones? And some of these men have been training to throw stones. That some of these guys are like baseball players. Like, just imagine. Oh man, that's horrible. Just imagine, like, if you ever seen a baseball player throw a baseball, man. Just picture the way, when you see these baseball pictures, their arm looks like it's made out of elastic when they throw that ball, man, and they're accurate too. They throw it right into the pitches, into that the guy that has the big catcher's mitt. They throw it right directly to his hand and that 110-mile fastball. Now imagine that being thrown at someone's head that's committed adultery. And then the person that's done that is able to dodge that stone. But now imagine 100 men throwing stones that speed at one person, man, at the adulterer and the adulteress. Oh, you wanted to be together? Okay. Stand right next to each other right now then. And let's have these baseball pitchers line up and start slinging. Mate, that's not the situation you want to find yourself in, man. You don't want to find yourself in a situation like that. You wouldn't want to be there. That's what's going to be happening in the kingdom. We ain't going to allow adultery to take place. We're going to be strict. But the Israelite woman right now is showing that she don't even care about that. She don't care about God's laws. When she sees that Israelite man or perceives that an Israelite man is innocent in something, she's not thinking, hang on, what the hell is going on here? That woman is a lying B-word. She shouldn't have lied about that man. She's saying, oh, well, he didn't want a black, fine, chocolate sister like me, so that's what he get, messing with them white girl. Mate, what about her being a lying bitch? What about that? You got anything to say on that part of the situation, or are you just so grieved that the Israelite man was able to get himself a woman that's hot of another nation, and that's what you're trying to make it about, and that she's young? Because you're 56 years. If you were 56 years old, you wouldn't be able to get a man that's young and attractive, or not even like the women don't even really care about the younger man for the whole fullness of what she is after. She'll deal with the younger man for attraction levels, but she knows she ain't gonna find all the other stuff that she requires of men from that. So they get mad when they get to these 56 years old and that, and they're on that Vivica Fox and all that, yeah. That they can't get the kind of man that they want. So they start saying, oh, the men that I want at my age, they're on toxic masculinity. They're narcissists. No, they just don't want you. Just like how you didn't want a lot of them before they became successful. That took them 4 decades to become this way. You talking about, man? Everyone's got a grievance against you women in this world. It's not just about the so-called black woman. It's every man. Rich men. Like, before this thing took place, you had Shannon Sharp going in on women on a couple of his channels, man. Bunning women out about how much money they want and this and that. He was going in on them. You got all these red pill channels. Everyone's got a grievance against Edomite men, Indian men, Chinese, everyone has got a grievance about how women are, man. Because y'all are wicked right now. And when this society gets to change over, y'all are going to be humbled. But I'm going to end the lesson there, man. The Israelite woman is showing herself from day to day that she would not be a righteous judge. She would not. Shalom.